and welcome to another edition of Rod and Reel. We're in Proctor Lake in Texas. We're here to try and experience a brand new form of fishing for me called Texas dabbling. I hope you'll stay with us for today's edition of Rod and Reel.
Funding for Rod and Reel is made possible by Cotton Cordell Tackle. The name lives on. Heddon, a tradition since 1894. Rebel, products for fishermen throughout the world. By Lowrance Electronics Incorporated, makers of electronic sonar. And Daiwa Corporation, manufacturers of Daiwa Power rods and reels.
Where's my stringer?
I didn't bring you one.
You didn't bring me one.
Nope. I figured it's that 15-pound test line, you probably wouldn't need it.
You don't think so, huh?
No.
Now, you can loosen this sling and let yourself further down in by doing that or pull it up tight. And...
Yeah, if you need to do that, you need to do it right now before we get too deep in water.
Why?
Well, you'd love to go all the way through it.
Now, if I keep my arms out.
Tell you what, we're going to turn around, we're going to fish this bush right here.
Fish this bush?
This bush right here.
Any snakes in that bush?
Nope. I bet there's a big bass, so.
Some people do anything just to go fishing. It's a little bit different than a 22-foot starcraft you normally see us in. Meet Lee Buchanan. Most of your friends call you Buck, right?
Right.
How'd you get that name?
From Buchanan.
From Buchanan. Sounds natural to me. Now, dabbling from tubes is something that I have never done before. The rods that you're using are flipping sticks. What kind of length, what kind of firmness should we be thinking about if guys doing that?
We're talking about a 7.5 foot rod. Heavy action is better. Medium to heavy action. You want to, we're fishing some really heavy brush, and you want to get them out of there in a hurry.
You guys put, what, 20, 30-pound test line out?
At least 20, I'd recommend, you know, because like I said, we're going to be in some pretty heavy brush and hopefully some heavy fish. So.
Well, I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble because I wound both of these with 15 big game, which is pretty tough line and pretty abrasion resistant stuff we use on downrigging back home, so it stands up pretty well to the riggers of being chafed on different objects, so I'm hoping it's heavy enough. Think it might work?
We can give it a try. A little luck, maybe it will.
Okay, what I've got in my hand here is a new flipping reel. It's a PT33P, and I wanted to ask Buck something about it. Now, you say you've never used this?
No.
At all. But this has a lever right here on the side of it, and by throwing it forward, it puts the reel into the casting mode, and by pulling it backward, it puts it into the flipping mode. Now, you might ask, what's the difference? By throwing it forward into the casting mode like this, you depress the autocast here on the back, and it stays depressed, and the line goes flying out when you're casting. If you put it in the flipping mode right here, and you depress it, and you flip the line, which goes out, as soon as you remove your thumb, it disengages. So it would stop, I would think, Buck, any backlash or that type of thing. And it's one of the newer things out in the market. And you said you've seen these before, but you haven't had a chance to use it.
I hadn't had a chance to use one of them.
You've got my other reel in your hand, and it doesn't have the flipping feature. And I guess neither of the reels that you use have a flipping feature. So can you show us how you set it up for flipping?
Yeah, this is basically what I use. And what I do is I just set the drag heavy enough where I can strip line off, and for me it takes the memory out. When you start fishing, you need basically a stiff line so you can, you know, flip a little better with it. So
wind affects flipping too.
Yes, a great deal. It affects where your presentation falls is what it does.
Well, the one thing that I notice the most about your form of flipping as you do it. When you're stripping the line out, you're very much like a fly fisherman. And you told me that you were raised as a fly fisherman as a kid.
Right. Not particularly a fly fisherman. I fish with a fly rod with live bait and using Helgamites, and I think that's where...
I noticed yesterday we were playing around just a little bit before we started shooting this show, and you were stripping it out and actually making line loops in your hand, the same as you would with a fly rod.
Right.
And that was to give you distance on the flip.
Distance on the flip. That's out of a boat, not out of a tube, though. That's kind of hard to do out of a tube. But out of a boat, it works great.
Out of a tube.
Out of a tube, it gets around your neck.
I can't wait. Okay, I've got the line here in my hand. What do we rig in the way of gear when we go flipping out here for largemouth?
What I like to use is...
What did I do with it? I had it floating around here for you somewhere, and I set it down. There it is. I stored them right here in the tackle box for you, Buck. Got the hook in the head. Now, this is a worm hook and a worm head. That's what you would use in the way of a worm hook. It's what size, you know?
3 or 4 aught is what I like to use. That's a 4 aught.
And how heavy is the weighted head?
1/4 ounce weight.
1/4 ounce weight. And this one has eyes on it. I've seen they're plain lead. You can paint them up, do anything you want to do with those. Now, the other thing that I did notice is that this hook has, on the very end of it here, a couple of very small barbs. And you do something special with those.
Right. We bend those down to help prevent... You get a false strike sensation when you're pulling it through that heavy brush. Those will hang.
So, in other words, if it's coming over a brush like it would be the edge of my hand, it sticks like that, and I can see that it sticks, and I can feel that it sticks. You want to hold on to head here, because I want to take a pair of pliers right here and do that. If you'll bear with me just a second, those little burrs are right here in this part of the hook, up near the eyelet. And what Buck does is he takes a pair of pliers. He showed me this little routine yesterday. And you actually just pinch those right down.
Right.
So they're virtually non-existent on the hook. And now the hook shank is smooth. And it can ride up over
the branches and stuff without
getting
hanging.
hung up.
Yeah. Well, it's not actually a hang. It's a strike sensation is what you get off of it.
It's important, I guess, to have extremely sharp hooks in this situation.
You bet.
Too, huh?
You bet.
I brought along something I want to show the folks. And this is a new product that just came out, and I was fortunate enough to get my hands on one. It's called made by Pointmatic. It's called a hook honer. And I don't know if you've ever seen these before, Buck, but you set it much like it's almost like a pencil sharpener, only it doesn't grind, it buffs. It has a diamond pad inside, and you stick the tip of the hook in there like that, and you press this button here for about 3 seconds, they say, on a hook that's been honed, a little longer than that on a new one. And it buffs. Feel that?
If they breathe on that, they ought to get caught. I'll tell you. That's sharp.
Let's hope so. Now, we take that, and the first thing that you have to do is thread up the head, right?
Right.
And all you do with that is stick it through the tip of the nose, or me putting it through the tip of there without my glasses on. I made it. How you like that?
That's pretty good.
And just a regular fisherman's knot.
I use a trilene knot. That's what I use.
Oh, you use a trilene knot, huh?
Trilene knot.
Well, I know what that one is. That's a good one. I'll use a double wrap. Only because without my glasses, I can tie it easier than you tie it. All I got to do is figure out a way to get it through that damned eyelet.
You feed these?
Do I need those? No, the loop is...
Oh, the loop's too big. Okay.
The loop's too big and doesn't want to go through it. I'll tie it singly. I'm just holding up the show just because of that. If I can find there. How quick I found that. Ouch. Got that hook.
So you might ought to wait to sharpen those after you get it tied on.
Yeah, I can see that's the case. Nature's cutters. 80-pound knots give you trouble. All right, now, there's the head, and there's the hook, as we would fish it. That's a dark blue hook, and you might be able to see that right here on the tip, it's very shiny, where that diamond pad has buffed it.
Right.
Now, you add to that a worm. You want to show us how you'd rig that? I suppose being in Texas, you'd rig it Texas style.
Definitely rig it Texas style. I go a little farther than Texas style, too, by bringing the whole eye through the worm.
Let me see if I can do it. You
Okay.
showed me how to do this earlier. And you tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. You set the tip right smack in the middle of the worm like that. And you run it on a good inch.
A good inch, yeah.
Has to be lined up, doesn't it, with the feelers? Okay. And then pop it out. Comes out like that. Now, what you were saying is you do something different. You don't just bury the eyelet in the end of the worm. You pull it all the way through.
All the way through.
Like this.
Right.
Till the eyelet pops out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you turn it over, and this is where the Texas style comes in. Now you pull it out, what, about a quarter of an inch or so out of the rubber
Well,
worm?
no, just virtually let it hang straight is what I try to do. Just try to let
I'm
the...
just thinking about putting that in like this,
Okay.
and then, whoops, I did it yesterday pretty well here. Put in like that, and then hold
Right.
it back up in there. So now it hangs virtually straight.
Right.
And now with the head on it like this, we're pretty well set to go fishing. What's your sidekick over there doing, Monty Gardner?
I don't know. I think he's found him a nest of porcupine eggs over there. I'm not sure. Kind of looks that way, though.
Porcupine eggs.
Porcupine eggs.
Hey, Link, I got something for you.
What do you got?
Porcupine eggs.
Porcupine eggs? You gotta be kidding me.
Nope, that's what they are.
They grow on bushes down here?
Well, they lay 'em on these little trees.
Oh my gosh, you know, there's something here. You guys told me everything's bigger and better in Texas. Back home, ours grow on trees.
And I thought we had the only character in New York State with a wink.
We got some pretty risque characters down here in Texas, too, let me tell you. You know,
And Monty Gardner's got to be the king of them.
if not, he's close.
Well, let's quit the chawing. We got a couple of turkeys out there in tubes that want to go dabbling.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, this thing ain't near as fast as my 22-foot Starcraft.
No, I don't figure it would be.
I was just reading the label. Abilene Tarp and Manufacturing Company makes these.
Right. Norman Sanders out of Abilene, Texas. Mike.
And Norman Sanders is the guy that let me board these waders.
You bet. Yeah.
Norman's Tube and Norman's Waders.
Right.
Builds these, huh? So there's a lot of this fishing going on.
You bet.
Now, this is what you call a stick-up.
A stick-up. Right.
Not a six-gun type stick-up, but a
A Texas-type stick-up.
Texas type stick-up.
Fishing.
Wait a minute, why have I got this tube? I can stand up out here.
Well, you make less noise if you keep your feet off the ground
I'll keep my feet off the ground, Captain.
as much as you can.
I'll go right over here and start fishing this heavy stuff?
You bet.
Okay. Now, the trick is, it's really a lot like flipping, only you're lower in the water.
Right.
I'm a little curious. What happens when a big bass grabs it?
You start backing up as fast as you can
In high gear?
in high gear.
And get him out of the brush.
Get him away from the brush.
All right, now tell me this about, is he liable to take me for a ride?
He's liable to pull you up into the brush.
How big is a good bass here?
5, 6. Hopefully we're going to get some 6s today.
Well, Buck, I made it out this far. Now, this is the brush, and you just flip it in near the base of the brush.
Mm-hmm.
I'll flip it right in the brush. I'm up in the trees again. Now, how do I get it out of there? I know.
Just keep wiggling it sometimes. Pull on it.
Pull on it. Wink, you're probably getting a shot of that already. Our first time Texas dabbling, I'm in the trees. So that's where the fish are supposed to be, huh?
You bet.
If I was a fish, I'd be laughing. What the devil is getting me hung up here?
what I like for them to do, laugh and get their mouth open.
Get their mouth open,
Right. Drop this right in it.
Now you just jiggle it a little.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you probably what's a little foolish question, but what happens if I get a bass on this side of the brush pile and he goes out the other side?
Well, hope, pray a little bit, and if you're a lucky person, you'll get him back out of there.
That's why you need the heavy line.
Heavy line, right. 20 pounds. About the only thing that's going to give up on you in here is your hook.
The hook?
Uh-huh. Well, you'll straighten a few hooks sometimes on a good fish.
Now color. The worms we're using are black with blue tail.
Black with pearl blue tail.
What are they called?
Sensation.
Sensations?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I noticed I was reading an article on Texas Big Bass Association there, and you had a fish in there that you caught on a white sensation. That's a white version of this?
Right.
Well,
They
that'll
have-
be pretty good in this dark water, hadn't it?
Yeah, it should be. We may go to that here if we don't do something pretty good on this black and blue.
I don't know. I think this thing thinks it's a blackbird. It's spending more time in the trees than it is in the water. Come on.
Got him hung up now.
You got one hung up, Buck?
Yeah,
What do you hit, right in the base?
right in the base of the tree.
Got him hung up on the tree branch, huh?
Hanging up in the tree, yeah.
Boy, they're kind of muddy colored, aren't they?
Little
Nice
white.
fat fish, though, huh?
Nice little female. Okay, you catch her now. Good
Come on,
fish.
get out of there. I got him. Get him out of the brush.
Good fish.
Woo! I'm tubing one. Hey, I got a honey here. Now what I do with him, Captain?
Get him in.
You know what? I leaned back and put her in high gear to get out of that brush pile, and I filled it back in my waders.
Oh.
Woo! My pants are cool. Hey, this is a nice fish.
That's a good fish, sir. What are we, 4 or 5?
Wet. I got him.
You'll get close to 4, 3.5.
Ho, ho. Ho, ho. What do you think of that? And I did it without a bass boat. What a neat way to fish. I can see where this application with the tubes ought to be real good if a guy was dressed right for spring brown trout. You can do the same thing along the shores of Lake Ontario back home. It's worth trying.
I bet
Yeah,
you
beauty.
could.
You fought the good fight, and you earned the release. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, let's go. There you go. 1-1.
Good.
Now I got my damn hook hung up on something here diddling around. Hey, Monty, any snakes in here? That's good. Right answer.
Big fish. Big fish. Big fish. Goodness gracious.
That's a good one?
Good one. Yeah.
Oh, he's a honey. He's a honey.
I'll go 6 or better, maybe.
He's taking you for a tube ride, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Easy, girl.
Boy, that's a beauty.
Oh, goodness. There we go.
Like, look at the fat stomach on her.
Yeah. Nice female. That's what we're looking for.
Oh, I feel better now. You know why?
6.5?
It looks like it. Monty's shaking his head no, holding up 3
back
fingers.
with 3.
Well, I wake up each morning with a contagious type disease that can only be cured by catching a Macropterus salmonidee. Now, to all you fishing purists who only go for trout, that Macropterus salmonidee is that big old big mouth bass. That's a capital B-A-double-S, big old bass. Well, I pack my lunch and away I go, just a little old piece on down the road to a farm pond about 15 acres big. Now, I'd heard a lot about this lake, but I really didn't know what kind of bait to use to coax a mean and lean bass with. So I thought I ought to play it cool. I threw open my tackle box, started to drool. There it lay, a pretty purple worm. I picked her up, content with smile, tied her on, and in a little while, we was raring and going to catch that big old bass. That's capital B-A-double-S, big old bass. Now, the rule of thumb with a purple worm is you gotta fish her slow, make her dance and squirm down there on the bottom where the big lumlunkers lurk. Now, old lumlunker is a big old hog. He'll hang around a rock and a hollow log, eating minnows and little green frogs, and he loves them purple worms. I don't claim to be a fishing pro, but there's one thing I surely know. When he grabs that worm, he better not be picking your nose. Cause old lumlunker don't cut no slack when it comes to gobbling on a purple snack. He's gonna gobble hard and gobble fast. Do his best not to give it back. That's capital B-A-double-S, big old bass. Well, I was sitting there, the wind in my hair, and all of a sudden I become aware that something big was gnawing on my line. My drag was squealing, my line was peeling, and I was getting a queasy feeling, just praying my 10-pound test didn't break. Now I reared back hard on my rod and reel. I set the hook and dug my heels 3 or 4 inches deep in farm pond mud for traction. And I let out a hoot and I let out a howl, and I cranked and cranked till it hit top water, and boy, howdy, when it did, all hell broke loose. He was slipping on his side and flopping on his belly, dancing on tail and shaking like jelly, and churning up the water like an automatic washing machine. Then he dove back down for lower ground, swimming in circles like a merry-go-round, searching for limbs and underbrush, and rapping and snapping my line. He might have got away this time, friends, but I guarantee you he's going to see me again. And when he does, I'm going to get his B-A-double-S, big old bass. That's capital B-A-double-S, big old bass. Macropterus salmonidee.
Boy, Buck, that's a nice-looking fish.
That is, huh?
What do you weigh, about 5.5? Maybe better?
No, this one,
4?
3.5,
3.5.
3 3/4.
3 3/4.
Maybe 4. Since I caught it, probably was 4.
Probably was 4.
Good fish, good fish.
See if I can keep a tight line on him.
Big as that.
Woo! Just spin my tuber on you. Come on, jump. Hope you're enjoying this just half as much as I am. It's sure a new way and a new technique for catching bass. I say new technique. It's a new technique for me. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there in the audience that are tubers and have caught lots of bass, and I suppose other species of fish using the tube. I find it extremely relaxing. And on a hot, hot day in Texas, you can tell this old northern boy's arms are getting red pretty good, and I don't burn very easily. Pretty fish. Let's go back and get bigger. Now, you did see me release that fish, right? I get a lot of mail from time to time because I sometimes keep fish. And I'm a great believer in the fact that people, if they like to eat fish, should be able to keep some fish to eat. I'm an advocate of catch and release if you're not going to keep the fish to eat. But as Buck was saying to me earlier today, if you obey the law and take what the law allows, you should be able to take some fish to eat if you want.
Bill, there's something I want you to see over here.
What's that, Buck?
This snake. Right here.
Snake?
Snake. Right here in this tree.
Oh, mother. You just leave him alone. I'm just motoring right on out of here. Yeah, you just fish with him over there. I'm going the other side of the lake. Well, if you don't like snakes, you can sympathize with me. Those birds knocked that snake in the water with me. I trucked for the other side of the lake in high gear, only to be goosed en route by a tree stump. I ran right into a stump. Well, with me gone and the snake gone, Buck continued to hang in there and catch some more bass using the technique we call Texas dabbling.
There we go.
Hey, Buck, that's beauty, huh?
That's a pretty nice one.
What is he, 3 pounds or so? I'll make him bigger. 4 pounds, Buck?
There you go, 4. Ooh. About 3.5. Barely had him hooked.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our little edition of Texas dabbling. I learned a lot. Very inexpensive boat, great way to fish. A lot of big fish in that brush.
There was a couple of nice ones. I liked it.
I left a good one there.
You left a good one there.
Well, we hope maybe if you get a chance, you'll try tubing in whatever part of the country you fish. It's a great way to catch some big fish. It was new for me. I enjoyed it. Appreciate everything you and the folks at the department did to help us arrange it.
We enjoyed it, or I did. It was a new experience for me, yeah. That's great.
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 We hope you enjoyed it, and that you'll be with us right here again next week.
And
Let's say we get these puppies on the trailer.
I'm ready.
Oh, this is where it gets to be.
Walk back.
Oh, walk backwards?
Yeah.
Flippers, it's more difficult, I can see.
Funding for Rod and Reel is made possible by Cotton Cordell Tackle. The name lives on. Hedden, a tradition since 1894. Rebel, products for fishermen throughout the world. By Lowrance Electronics Incorporated, makers of electronic sonar. And Daiwa Corporation, manufacturers of Daiwa Power rods and reels.